Hello, my name is Susan Ashley and welcome to my YouTube channel, Susan&Kassandra. Today I'd like to talk to you about how the darkness gets you to create the reality that it wants and how you can change that and create the reality that you want. This is a very important subject because at the moment we're all being bombarded by people vying to create a reality that they want. In particular, government, mainstream media, medical arena. They want us to fear and to create a reality where Armageddon is here. And to be honest, Armageddon, Judgment Day, it's talked about in many religions, so it's just basically confirming that, and people are empowering that with their thoughts and their emotions around it, thus creating it. Okay, so on the last eclipse I spent a couple of hours being I could say a voyeur of how the darkness operates, and it was how it was operating or trying to operate with me. Now, when you move into 5D, you start to be able to view energy and darkness, or the polarity of dark and light, in a totally different way. Now, at the moment, there's plenty of gurus and teachers on the internet teaching you how to manifest. And their biggest message is basically your thoughts and your emotions create the reality you want. So the more you concentrate on the positive side of what you want, the more opportunity you have to bring that into your life. It's absolutely true. However, at the moment, the darkness is hijacking that. And the darkness understands your power. It understands your ability to create more than you do. A lot more than you do. Because if you did understand it, you would never engage in its play. So this is what happened to me. I'm laying in bed. Now, normally one would call it psychic attack, right? And psychic attack comes through thought fields, it comes through emotional fields, but it can sometimes land in the physical as well, depending on what energy is being sent. Now, let's just quickly look at energy. We cannot see energy, but we feel its effects, okay? So we can't physically see how I can talk to you into this phone and you pick up your phone without any wires, without anything, and get a full image and sound of my voice and what I look like and my words, right? So you're getting that, and it's all traveling on an energy form, isn't it? So energy is real. We can't deny it. That's what the fourth dimension was all about. Understanding energy. It's about understanding psychic energy, we could say. So 5D is about going above that and being able to see how it interplays. So there I am laying in bed, and I start getting these thoughts about what's going on the planet. And the thoughts are coming in thick and fast, and it's like, well, everything's going to hell in a basket. You'll never be able to travel again. You'll have to be vaccinated. The list goes on. And I'm laying in bed and I'm going, actually, I'm not playing this game with you. I could literally, it was as if, I know this is going to sound really weird, but it was as if I was outside of my body looking down at these negative fields trying to entice my body and my consciousness to create the reality that it wanted. So had I engaged in those thoughts and allowed those thoughts to really enter my being and start panicking and going, okay, what do I need to make sure that doesn't happen to me? Where can I go? What can I do? How can I save my family? Had I gone into and engaged in that, I would have been creating the reality that they wanted. But instead I was looking at it like a voyeur, and I was going, okay, so these are the different layers. First they use fear, then guilt, then they'll use shame, then they'll use worthlessness, so they'll try these different ways of sending thoughts and feelings to you to try and anchor into your being a response. And so if I had have responded, I would be part of the problem and not part of the solution. And I truly saw this, and I actually saw how it goes into what I call the planes of existence within dimensional realities. And I saw how it tries to enter my being in different ways. And every time it tried to enter my being in a different way, I combated it by going, well, actually, no, this is the world I want to see. This is how I'm going to see the world. So I didn't take it personally. I didn't start going, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. No, I started just focusing on the world as a whole, of myself. Like, I have been conducting I was conducting daily meditations for 93 days every morning, and it was focusing on anchoring the 5D reality into the world and how you wanted to participate in it and how you wanted it to respond to you. And now I do that on a weekends only, because a lot of people went back to work and didn't have the time to commit to this every day, although I still meditate myself, and I know a lot of them do every day, daily. So we do it on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, Paris time, right? On my Facebook page, Susan Ashley, Energetic Alchemist and Spiritual Consultant. 9 a.m. Paris time Saturday, 6 p.m. Paris time on Sunday. And the reason I do it at the two different time frames is so that people from other countries can participate instead of having to get up, in the middle of the night. Anyway, let's get on to this. So I started to think about the world that I wanted and see it and visualize it the way that I wanted it to, what I believe to be the truth of the future, and not the future of what the darkness wants to create for us. And the more I did that, the weaker it became, until it just vanished. It went away. It played with me for an hour and a half, 2 hours actually. And it kept coming back, trying to waft into me in some way. It would use different members of my family, try to get me to have thoughts about them and what could happen to them because they're a distance away. So it played with me for a while, but I kept staying very firm on the world that I wanted, not the personal aspects of my life, because I realized that if I focused on the personal aspects of my life, it could find another way to get into me, right? But if I focused on the world as a whole, which is actually its goal is not to personally attack me. Its goal was to get me to create its reality, because it knows the power of me. It knows the power of you. It knows the only way that it can exist is if you engage it. If you feel fear, if you feel guilt, if you feel worthless, if you feel that it's not possible and you give up, and you feel doubt, even doubt will give it energy, the slightest bit. And so whilst I understand it's not easy to be positive all the time, you don't have to be positive all the time. You can be neutral, right? And if you do feel yourself slipping into pain, recognize it as your own. Recognize what's yours and what's the collective, or what's the darkness wanting you to create. And from there you have power, right? So it's about taking your power back and owning who you are. The darkness knows exactly how to get to you. It knows your weaknesses, and believe me, it knows your strengths. And it will use whatever it can to engage you in its reality. So don't allow it. If you want to create the world that you want, the world that you want to live in, you have to co-create it. Years ago, guidance said to me, something will come and it will make the whole world come together, because you won't survive singly. So it's not about us or me finding my refuge. Yeah, because I can find my refuge. I have a place that I can live in and can be completely self-sufficient. And I know that many of you listening to this are creating it or already have created it. So it's very possible for me to do that. But for how long before that dark world comes into my world? So there's no point in me distancing myself and protecting only myself and the people that I love, right? We have to do this together, which was why, I did the meditation group, because I realized this isn't about me creating something. It's about us creating something. And I know the power in co-creating. And unity consciousness is all about that. It's about co-creating. It's not about me going into 5D and leaving the rest of you for dead. It's about me taking you with me. And in fact, creating together is the key to unity consciousness. That's the key. And the darkness knows it. And if you think that the darkness doesn't have a 5D reality, it does. It just doesn't coexist with 5D light, right? So it wants to create a 5D dark world on planet Earth. And we want to create a 5D light world, which is why this battle is going on at the moment. I don't think it's my place to go into politics and to talk about that aspect of it. I see energy, and I see energies working through people, whether they're dark or they're light. That's what I see. I see world leaders change. I see them turn into something else. I also see people in big business change as well. I see them start off as full-hearted people, but then they get caught up in the greed, they get caught up in the power, and they change. Something gets taken over. Something takes them over. And this is quite easy to happen, actually. People can get taken over by these energies because they're taken over through their force field of thinking they're better than everyone else. They're more powerful than anyone else. They know better than anyone else. And it's not true. What I do know is true. The only way we're going to remain a planet of light, love, and truth is if we co-create it together. I can't do it alone. So it's not about me creating my own world that I can live in. It's about me and you creating a world that we can live in and not being enticed by the darkness. At the moment, it's about being very clear, having no doubt, and staying true to ourselves, sitting in our heart every day, opening our enlightened mind. That's what we do in the meditation. We activate our enlightened mind and we activate our heart and we join all the elements together. We're co-creating, just as the dark co-creates. We can see it playing out in the world at the moment. It's pushing us all to believe that there's no hope, that we are reliant on a body of government and systems that are not in harmony with the light. And we are frightened because we think, well, there's no other choice, but there is. Because the more that you and I focus on the world that we want, the more those amazing beings that can co-create with us, that have the resources, that have the knowledge, that have the ability to instigate this in government, in business, and everything, the more they will come to the surface. Like at the moment, we're looking at a lot of businesses crashing, right? So a lot of people are freaking out. They're going, oh my God, look at all these major companies crashing. You know what I see? I see what I was told years ago. The hands in which money is held will change. That's what I see. I see an opportunity for people with heart to move up in the world. That's what I see. I don't see it as destruction. I see it as opportunity. There's a crack happening right at this moment, an opportunity for the light to move in. We cannot move in as singular people. We have to move in unity consciousness, coming together. And it's not about one person being the leader. It's about understanding each individual's strengths and weaknesses. And lending our energy to that strength, right? That's what it's about. Not allowing the darkness a place in your mind or your heart. And how you do that is to meditate every day. And what we noticed through this poignant meditation, a lot of people noticed their world changing, their life changing, new people coming into their space. Like we noticed it, my husband and I noticed it very strongly, because we went to certain places where we would normally be met with opposition, and we weren't. Actually, new people had replaced those positions, and things really opened up. Like I could believe it, but it was hard for some of the people that I know or that are around me could believe, you know, because I believe in miracles. I've had many of them happen in my life. I'm a firm believer. I see how energy works very clearly, so I understand that if you clear a path, it's not about manipulating, controlling people. It's about actually allowing people who emanate at the same vibration as you to enter your life. And there's different ways that you can do that. So I thank you for listening to me today, and I'd really like you to join in our meditations and co-create unity consciousness with us of the light. And also, I ask you to remember that unity consciousness is precisely that, unified. It's about people coming together. It's not about having one leader. And that's a whole different paradigm to what we're used to. We're used to two different political systems. We're used to one person being the leader, but we're actually moving into unity, which means that it's a round table, completely different. That's not what I'm going to talk about at the moment, because that's a whole nother episode. So just remember that this game of darkness is a game, and it's there to scare you. It's there to convince you that it's the leader, but it's not. You are. You have more power in your being than you could possibly conceive. That's why they come after you, because they're all vying for your energy. Don't give it to them. Give it to the world that you want. Connect with people that are willing to co-create a world of peace and harmony. And sometimes that means removing yourself from the people who aren't willing to do that, and being alone for a little bit until your energy kind of, starts to, it's like going through a purging, You're going to purge out all the old stuff, and then the new stuff comes in. So, on that note, I will love you and leave you. I'm wishing you all a beautiful day, and thank you so much for listening. Bye for now.